Why hello and welcome everyone, my name is Yu and welcome back to Genshin Impact. So, as you can see, I pulled Emilie. I couldn't resist. Well, I didn't spend any money, I just pulled for her and yeah, it took like 70 or more pulls to get her. Luckily I won the 50-50 because Natlan is coming soon and
Many ladies in the court of
it was very
Fontaine like
painful.
to spray their perfume onto a
Very
delicate
painful.
lace fan, allowing them to generate a pleasant fragrance with each flick of the wrist. It's quite an ingenious method.
Quite ingenious indeed. But I'm having fun. I'm having fun with her. So, we'll see how it goes. But that's not the point. Today we're gonna be doing Emilie's story quest, which is the very last story quest that is left before Natlan. So, Floral Depth, Blood Dew. Let us get into it. Go to Port Ormos. Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from it, that it was taking place in Sumeru. In Sumeru. I have no idea what to expect from this quest, like at all. If I had any inklings as to Siegeweens or Chioris, I have no idea about Emilie's, like at all. Whoops. Okay, we're good. We're chilling. Ah. So good to be back. So good to be back. Where am I supposed to go? There we go. Hey, there's Tainari.
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film.
Spray it with water to retain moisture.
You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
Interesting. So glaze lilies are from Liyue, and they are right now in Sumeru. And they are glazing them. I guess to prevent them from wilting?
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Damn.
Hey, Tainari!
What's up? Oh, there's Nakuweed. And that red one. And the other one from Liyue.
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
I think those are also glazed lilies, but just closed ones. I think. I don't know. The Emilie's quest.
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
There we go. There are rainbow roses.
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat. So I came to help out.
I guess, so the issue with glaze lilies is that they are closed? But I think they are closed, like, during the day and are opening up during the night.
The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Those are some new textures. Are those Cecilias? Yeah, those are Cecilias, right? Huh.
Even so, An expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
Still, the best soundtrack in Sumeru.
Oh, and that expert is you, right?
Overworld.
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out. The expert in charge is someone else.
And we know who it is.
Mr.
I know
Tainari.
who that is.
Sanjay, he confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate them.
Oh, brother.
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of. I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, you go at it. Good luck.
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh?
Too many people are careless about what they eat. Too many people don't do as they're told.
Yeah, seems like it. Some people just need supervision. Well, looks like Tainari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime.
I don't need to do what my doctor says. I can prescribe my own medication. Floral Debt. Blood Dew. That sounds ominous. Switch a few words and it's gonna be Blood Debt. Directive. Look at them. Look at them.
Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Not quite as busy. Yet.
So...
Bless you, Paimon. Holy crap. You sneeze like a dad from 9 to 5 at the evening dinner.
Huh?
Oh? That was a very strong huh? Holy crap. What is that voice? You having allergies, Paimon?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a little...
That's strange. Holy crap, Paimon.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
Is this a foul combination?
It's getting worse. Why?
You're dying, Paimon! You're dying! She sounds so sad. Should we go fetch Tainari?
But, I was fine just a moment ago.
Damn.
She didn't even eat anything weird.
A great voice acting performance. Holy shit.
A moment of your time, you two? If
God.
it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
That was a very long leg shot. And and the voice. It sounds so different. Holy crap. It just, I don't know why, it just didn't fit with my imagination of the design. And from the voice lines that I have already heard. I cannot help but imagine this voice with the old concept design. You will be missed. Rest in peace.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice. Wait!
You can talk normally now.
Whoa, that was fast. Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore.
Must have been the incense. Arigato.
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either.
Yeah. You, sexy Fontanian.
Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition
Damn.
too?
They are covering her face for the reveal. What is she, the Dandro Archon? They are giving her the same treatment.
I suppose that's accurate. Ah, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
That voice is really nice. Holy crap. That sounds so good. Are you the expert they invited, or...
Paimon is Paimon. Thank you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Put a face to the name. A nice saying, I like that. I've heard a lot about you as well, although I didn't expect to run into you in Sumeru.
What happened back there? Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Have you ever heard of hay fever?
I think so, but I don't know much about it.
To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
Physical reactions? How is that even possible? The only physical reaction I know is shatter.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no
Chemistry.
need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Is everything all right?
Well, now it is.
I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air.
Yeah, Paimon was not having a good time, but Emilie helped us out.
Emilie? Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
Oh, Tainari is vouching.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all.
That's all.
I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something similar has happened in the past.
Well, you could say that.
Remember the first time
Oh!
we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
No way they actually showed this to us. Oh my god, this is incredible. I did not expect that. Wow. I was imagining this scene in my head when they were describing it, because there was a funny moment of Tainari just being so done with Paimon, and I just imagined him being this, having this face that, oh, I'm so done with this, just shut the fuck up, Paimon. Oh, but this is cool. I like the expressions. Hell yeah. Oh, I did not expect to get more content on the Sumeru Archon quest like this. We should have gotten something like this back in the day. But at least we do now. That's already something. That was an allergic reaction? But Paimon was the victim this time.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one suffering. It makes no sense.
Hey. First, let me suffer a bit. Now it's your turn, Paimon.
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you
Yeah.
can generalize.
And some people are allergic to soy.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Ain't no way. Wait. That sounds oddly specific. Their family brought back from Inazuma. No, actually, no. For a second there, I thought she was talking about Shiori because of the connection with Inazuma, but after rereading it, I realized that it's just their family was probably visiting Inazuma and then coming back. So, yeah, no way.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
True. Are you a doctor, Emilie?
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are rather unusual.
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
Hell yeah. Look at them nerds.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes out on top.
Yeah, that's only natural, given where both of you are residing and working.
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tainari mentioned, the one in charge of the exhibition!
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't entirely sure about that as well. Hence, I was like, "Oh, are you? Or are you not?" Because she seemed like she was only visiting.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any
Auguste.
official capacity.
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right this time.
What's the Auguste variety?
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Aye.
Auguste, huh? That's not a name you hear often nowadays.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well.
Yeah, I recall something similar, but I felt like it was people were pronouncing it as August. At least in the voiceovers. I don't know how the actual pronunciation of it is. Auguste.
That reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania?
Perfume mania? Not really. How many people died?
Perfume Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago.
Not that far away.
It all
Oh.
started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself.
Yeah, that makes sense that something like this would make a boom in Fontaine.
No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You
Yeah.
could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins.
Well, they are rich, so. And stupid. So, well,
The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds of thousands of mora. This resulted in countless disputes and scams.
yeah. People could just be like diluting the perfume with water to have more quantity, to sell more and with a lower quality. Yeah, that would have been, yeah.
But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last.
Anything else is new?
Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
That's good. It really could have been a lot worse.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million mora a bottle.
10 million? Then what about now?
What, you wanna buy? Paimon?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high.
That makes sense. Especially because it's gonna be like the last bottles in the world.
Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
I see.
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
It's just a rumor, Paimon. There's no way it's that easy to find.
I have to agree. Emilie wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any grand Mora-making endeavors planned.
Yeah, Paimon. Get down your horse.
Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure, but to me, they overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so noble.
So, Auguste.
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Yikes. Wait, your own work? Could that mean that you had something to do with Auguste in the past? Or is it just your own products on the market and nothing to do with the Gust?
Okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had in mind.
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market.
How even old are you? I'm like, it was 20 years ago. Were you even in the business yet? I wouldn't say that you don't look that old to be in the business 20 years ago, so... I am curious now. Maybe she's using perfume to look younger. Maybe she's a witch.
If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
That makes sense.
Either way, even if it's not for Moron, we could still help you out.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but I wouldn't want to trouble you.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so it's only right that we help each other out.
Just smile.
Ha! I suppose you're right. Then you have my thanks.
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say, but you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll know something.
Huh, I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one
Really?
who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in Sumeru.
Huh. Huh. Interesting how most of his deeds are seemingly to be in Sumeru, but August was a boom in Fontaine.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to
That's what I'm saying,
teach
Paimon.
people from Fontaine?
That's what I'm saying.
It sounds confusing.
Yeah.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
I need to stay back and keep an eye on things here at the port. If something happens, don't hesitate to find me.
Alright. Flowers. The neat rows of flowers were just so tempting, I really wanted to pick some. My hand just stretched out on its own, but when I thought of Tainari's serious face, I managed to yank my hand back in time. Not anymore. Alright, so... Where's the hotel here? In Port Ormos. Is that it?
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Yeah, those are definitely Cecilia's.
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Yeah, it seems to be a little excessive.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
Seems like they might have Mora to burn. And there's the old guy. With the beard.
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Perfumer. Edgar.
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kyria. Is he?
These guys are definitely from Fontaine.
Hold on, we have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed the master.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I'm deserving of that title.
You guys are so modest.
I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit for that success.
Okay, that is fair. That is fair. Giving validation and acknowledging the effort that she put in. Very good.
And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Edgar.
Emilie's friends. Well then, the pleasure is all mine.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of yours, Master?
Looking a little concerned. They definitely have some of their own shady business going on.
Of course, we're perfume merchants from Fontaine.
You're also perfume merchants.
I'm Oud, and this here is my
Oud.
younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
You're very, very close to a specific character in HSR. Blaze.
No, yes.
Merchant brothers?
You must be here to look for the August flower then.
If I had a guess, they are probably merchants that want to capitalize on the success of the perfume. like most of the shady merchants.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a goose? Anyone in the business would be interested in the rumors.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emilie. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the August flower.
And since we can trust Tainari, there's probably none in the forest. And, well... Interesting. At least we can trust that. I'm not too sure about eremites, specifically in this case, because it seems shady, but we'll have to see.
That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but still distinct.
Explicitly around Port Ormos.
Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the August they remember from back then.
It's fascinating how assumingly many Fontainians go and spend their lives in Sumeru. At least we see it now. We haven't actually met a lot of Fontainians during our time in Sumeru, to be honest. We met, but just a couple of them. But you know, maybe there were like NPCs that looked Sumeru-like, but they were actually Fontainians, just that changed their residence. I don't know.
A one-of-a-kind, divine, and noble scent.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of August from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent.
I see.
Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now.
I was really half expecting for her to say Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shit.
Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar fragrance? Or in accord with the same base notes?
Or maybe, since we began the quest with it, maybe it's a combination of a few fragrances? Having a physical reaction?
Impossible! If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The Auguste flower is back. It has to be.
Not necessarily. Especially given that right now this flower exhibition is happening and there are a lot of foreign flowers to Sumeru around here. So maybe a combination of some scents of different flower types produces something similar?
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought. Compared to things we see and hear, smells can be much easier to overlook.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the Auguste fragrance passed them on the street.
That's also what I was thinking. But again... Is it someone who actually recreated Auguste? Because Emilie ruled out the possibility of someone wearing a perfume from 20 years ago. So if someone was wearing a perfume that smelled similar, it would have to be like a recreation of sorts.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate. You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Oud, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room? Do we get free lodging too?
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute, but by the time Emilie wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's definitely no space for us.
Wah, wah.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay, even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru.
I'm familiar with the Sumeru wilderness. I'll come with.
Ah, even better. Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
What a funny word. Cumbersome. Get it? Because...
Well, about that...
It seems like Edgar and the others don't want anyone to stay near the hotel. But they're also trying not to arouse suspicion. I'm not just imagining things, am I? Okay.
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye on them for you, as long as you don't mind, mademoiselle.
All right, then. Oud, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage? I'll prepare some refreshments and join you in a bit.
My first thought when Emilie brought that up, I really thought that she said that on purpose, for some reason. Like, the reason of leaving the luggage behind because it's too cumbersome is a reason enough, don't get me wrong. But I feel like she has like a plan of sorts. I don't know, maybe she has some kind of fragrance inside of those luggages. Is that even a word? Luggages? No. I'm just making shit up. Inside of the luggage. To like throw them off? Oh, I actually can. Huh.
I'm sorry I couldn't offer you a room.
It's all right, Master. I know it was sudden.
I'll be sure to make it up to you with a nice cup of tea.
So, from the situation I'm getting right now is that these guys want something from this man, from this old man, and this old man wants to just avoid trouble. And not just necessarily for himself, but for those around him as well. Maybe he just wants to spare Emilie the trouble from getting involved in this kind of stuff. I don't know. There are a lot of flowers here.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers.
Or that was just an excuse.
Hyman took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
Do all perfumers have houses filled with flowers?
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants, but to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh!
Yeah, that makes
Guess
sense.
there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
What's, behind this door?
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
What?
Blaze!
Why?
Yes, of course. Dun, 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 dun.
That was way longer than it needed to be.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. 1, beautiful as hell. 2, definitely scheming something. Amber wine. As if it's like an invitation. Like, oh, you can drink some if you want to. Because they're gonna be here at your disposal, unsupervised. Also, yeah, I wanted to say, you just left them at the port with no supervision? Or did you leave them, like, with Tainari or the Core of 30? I don't know.
Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospitality.
Ah, okay. So, it wasn't just a hint, like wink wink. It was it was way more direct.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Is that so?
Amber wine. Now that's a Fontaine specialty I've never heard of before.
Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey! What are you doing?
What the hell? Sus music. Dun dun dun.
That's Master's voice.
Is he being kidnapped? Quick! Where are the boys? Enter Can I? Did you see the slide? Wait, I can actually? What? Why do I need that? I'm sorry, master. I mean, Emilie's master. Oh, that actually is a sweet. Huh. And the fragrance. There's way less flowers here. Oh, there are some flowers, but there is some essence. I went around. As you rushed out of the hotel, you detect a unique fragrance.
Edgar!
Oh, there's a like a bottle.
Master!
Wait. A unique fragrance coming from outside. Good thing that we can actually read that thing that's it's like blanking on the screen for a few seconds. That is very helpful. Okay, so he wasn't kidnapped. But it looked like... You know, like that trick they use in movies when they want to put someone to sleep, so they put like a cloth at their mouth. I feel like something like this happened, but with a fragrance.
Hey, Edgar! Are you alright? Can you hear me?
Who did this?
Kyria. August.
What the heck? He's not dying, right?
Kyria!
Hey, Edgar? Edgar!
No way he's dead.
No,
The
don't
music-
shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can...
We'll investigate the scene. We'll try to see where the culprit went.
Oh, thank you.
Bruh.
Skin is flushed, pupils are dilated, but he's still breathing.
Alright, he's fine. I love how the dress is, like, spread on the floor. Looks really nice. I was gonna say, like, this music, this investigation court music that we had in Fontaine, it really made me feel like, oh, no, we're getting a murder. Yep. A body has been discovered. Check the bottle.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle?
Fancy. One could even say Auguste. Only a small amount of liquid is left inside the bottle, and streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and the sides of the vessel. It seems like someone forcibly poured out whatever was inside the bottle. I see. So it wasn't just like a cloth. It was a whole ass bottle of perfume that they forced this man to drink. This liquid in this bottle is...
Really? You think so?
Auguste! So who's Kyria, huh?
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wings and fly away.
That kid?
Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
So the culprit is the kid, or at least someone who they're looking for. Huh. Okay, what else? Okay, I don't see anything. I need to personally investigate it. No, come on, Emilie. It's no time for strip clubbing. Oh, I can enter his room. Oh, there's a lot of perfumes here and potion bottles from the potion event. Flower stand. The stand displays flowers from various nations. Looking at the flower pot in the middle, the soil seems to have been disturbed recently. Hiding something? Okay. I'm inspecting everything carefully, even his bathroom. No need to be grateful. There it is. Flower beds.
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked Edgar?
There are no footprints in the flower beds, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. Unless the culprit was your size, that would be pretty difficult. But yeah, we now know that it was a kid.
True.
We know that it was a kid who did that. So I wonder what kind of
Well, we
kid
looked all over, but the only clue we found was that bottle.
would force someone to drink a perfume. Potentially of their own making.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master. Can you help me move him inside?
Absolutely. You and Emilie carefully move Edgar inside. Yeah, by the way, I was joking about my investigation. Yeah, he doesn't have a bathroom.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid.
Even through the nose?
He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now.
We found this bottle just now.
Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe there are 2 people who could shed some light on the situation.
And that's not me and Paimon.
Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucian.
Oh? Real names alert.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid we've never heard of those names before.
Okay, don't play dumb, dude.
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste.
Chevreuse is on the case.
There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market.
I see now why she recognized the brothers specifically. But a researcher from Sumeru. And that is vital. Because if a researcher from Sumeru was involved in creating Auguste, that means that there is a chance that this kind of flower is going to reappear in Sumeru.
The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators and profiteers, inflating the price of Auguste even further. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucian just now, the name registered immediately.
Yeah, you kind of gave away your identity.
Ah, Miss Emilie, out of respect for your position as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, I'm inclined to believe that was simply a poor attempt at humor.
Bruh.
You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around false accusations, especially among merchant circles.
Wow. Threatening already?
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
It's actually not alcohol. Okay. Smart decision.
What?
Yeah, just as I thought.
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world.
Under the rock.
Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
Under the rock. In the basement. Of your mother's house.
Emilie, you little...
Don't even think about it, huh? Yeah, that's right.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the two of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kyria.
Fine, as you wish.
So salty.
Sylvain!
Lucian, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison Aurélie anyway.
Aurélie.
You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucian, Edgar, and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava.
Vijava?
Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him.
Yeah, I could imagine that. That was also something I was considering. And now that, like, his past is catching up to him, he didn't want anyone else to get involved. That's what I was thinking.
Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while.
God damn. Again, so many Fontanians relocating to Sumeru.
But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom.
But he wasn't exactly a Fontaine resident, so I guess it didn't really affect him as much.
But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
Reminds me of Dia's dad. I wonder if the kid, Kyria, is her child. Potentially.
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
Yeah, that's unexpected. Now that really is something similar to Dia's dad.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
So far, Kyria's name still hasn't come up.
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
Kyria was Vijava's younger brother. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing.
Again, not taking anything that comes out of their mouth at the face value. But still considering.
Vijava kept him close most of the time. The 3 of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the August flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
So that's probably his doing, huh? But damn. Why go to such extremes to burn down something illegal? And what you've earned from it? And also for yourself to go down with it? Like, how bad was it? What made her, like, commit suicide?
So, you think Kyria took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the August flower?
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kyria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the August flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was August. Wait, does that mean August is poison?
Would he even sell that then? Because people on the streets have recognized the scent, which means the perfume was being used on someone.
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once.
Crazy, huh? Having like water and scents and still be dangerous to consume. Wow. Must be a lot of chemicals in there.
If August could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened to be August.
Just happened to be, huh? How convenient. Strange. Sylvain seems nervous all of a sudden. Why did Kyria attack Edgar?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We're not looking for Kyria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing.
Right.
And, if possible, work together to bring back August.
Right, yeah. I totally believe what you're saying.
We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself. As long as we keep things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's memory.
Why go through all this trouble just to bring another perfume? Like, oh, it was a perfume that went extinct. Now it's a very rare product. Bruh. You know that shit is expensive even now. Come on.
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on what's in August, or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask. Edgar or Kyria himself.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact August. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
Hell yeah.
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened, there are things that need reconsidering.
Yes, of course.
So shady. Oh my god. They are still shady as a knuckle.
Huh, you think so too? That does seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more evidence.
Nah.
But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now, I suspect further questioning will only result in more made-up answers.
Yeah.
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch, that was genius!
Are you really just a perfumer who looks after people in your spare time? Or are you working with the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol?
Oh, right! Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your patients were unusual.
Yeah, dealing with dead bodies.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
Eek.
So you're a forensic doctor?
Wow, Feynman, you're knowledgeable.
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marachese Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene.
I see.
I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tainari and the officers at Port Ormos? We should update them on the situation.
Will do.
I'll stay here and continue to look after Master. Now that we have a sample of Auguste, I'm hoping further analysis won't be too difficult.
I'm still confused on her job exactly. She kind of explained it, but I'm not an expert. I don't know what exactly she does. In the teaser, she looked like she was helping with some more interesting stuff.
Master looks a lot older than when I last saw him. I just hope he can hold on.
Ah, yes. Flowers. Okay, where are we going? There he is, I see him. I see those ears.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
Yeah, you could say that. You explain everything.
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kyria. I'll start gathering my forces. We won't let him get away.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my help looking after Mr. Edgar.
But she said she's not a real doctor.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan.
Damn.
Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emilie is certainly in the best position to help him. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kyria.
Alright.
Oh, that's right! Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru. Do you recognize the name?
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars, and there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their darshan. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar.
Yeah.
I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Alright, looks like we're not leaving this place for a bit. So, what are we doing? We're waiting? How long are we waiting? Next day, 7 o'clock. No biggie.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emilie's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
Aye. What? So, you smell really nice today. God damn it, Emilie! Stop! Stop! She really likes the pole, There she is.
Emilie!
Looks quite concerned. How's Edgar?
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain consciousness soon.
Aye.
My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions.
Questions?
I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance,
Hmm.
but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
Oh.
Elemental energy?
So we can use our elemental sight to track where it's coming from or where it's being produced? Would that have an effect on the body?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years.
Let me sniff it.
As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or some other component of the perfume, it's still too early to say.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari come and find you? Maybe we could ask him to take a look.
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the academia.
So he didn't find anything yet.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here?
Go away! Ain't no way! Are you the messenger of Mr. Tainari?
Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon, you're here too!
Won't be as awkward anymore, huh? Happy to help.
Kale.
And it's nice to see
Oh,
you.
of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Aw.
And please, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emilie. Did Tainari send you here, Kale?
How are you doing?
Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night, and still
Wow.
haven't had a chance to rest. I'm fast on my feet, so it only made sense for me to come and give you an update. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Vijava ever passed through the academia.
Wow. Could it have been an alias?
Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't find a match.
Wow. They never existed in this world.
How is that possible?
Irminsul. Maybe her identity as a researcher from Sumer was a ruse all along.
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only...
Or his brother. Or her brother. Even if he really is her brother.
Hey,
Oh god.
Lucian!
That voice, it's... Was there another attack?
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Curio came back, do you?
Nod.
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them.
Maybe it was during the night? Potentially, yeah. Because they have a separate suit, so... Anyone could have just walked in. Let's go inside and check. I love her charged attack. Ooh, we can enter 2 different rooms. So, we need to go into this one. You rush into the hallway and head
It's
to
locked?
his room. I'll try to break it open. Is this a locked room mystery? The door gives way with bang and you enter the room. Where's the music?
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Wake up!
Shocked. Shocked. That reaction doesn't bear any good meaning behind it.
Emilie, Emilie, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just unconscious. Like what happened to Edgar?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain, but we were too late this time.
And this man's not even old. Not even old.
No, no, that's not possible.
Huh. That's strange. Hmm.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock.
Yeah, Kalei, maybe you should step out for a while.
He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at his brother's body like this.
Of course. Leave it to me.
She is taking it well. I'll notify the sheriff.
Thank you both.
There's the essence again.
Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here, take my hand. Nice and slow. We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
We need to investigate the scene.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self.
Yeah, that really hit him, didn't it?
He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Good person or
Yeah,
bad,
that's just
the
empathy.
death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to carry alone.
Maybe that's what Kiria wanted.
If Kiria really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can.
And you gotta find them out.
Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Fascinating. Are we gonna play as Emilie? No.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us.
Yeah, we've investigated in the past, and we did a good job. Yeah. Oh. Huh. Okay. Oh. Let's investigate the luggage. This bag is stuffed with clothes and other daily necessities. It's quite heavy. Very suspicious. Door. This door leads to Sylvain's room. I can hear faint voices coming from the other side.
Why? I'm so sorry for your loss.
Sylvain still needs more time to calm down. We should first finish investigating Lucine's room first. God. I feel bad for Kale dealing with this traumatic event of another person and trying to calm him down. This is gonna be difficult for her. So there's this door also. This door leads to the hallway. Ah, the lock broke when we forced our way in. This door was probably locked last night. I see. So there's a hallway even. And this leads to the hallway. And these rooms are connected. But this door was locked and we broke it. What about the other door? Was it also locked?
And the windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's room.
And if his room is also locked, then it's the locked room mystery. Flowers. The corners are filled with the flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. Emily?
Pupils are dilated, skin is flushed. No overt external injuries or signs of a struggle.
I actually really like to see this kind of plot in this game. To have a character that specializes in dealing with dead bodies. This is very interesting. Very interesting.
To tell you the truth, the exhibition has left us quite short-handed. We're lucky to have your help.
You're very welcome. Okay, what is there? A cabinet. The space inside the cabinet is divided into various compartments. It doesn't look like a person could hide in there. And the incense. The best for last. The incense slowly rising into the air. It seems familiar somehow. Really now? Is this the Spiriborium? Boreal? Or whatever it was called?
Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emilie and Shim.
So, given my Danganronpa brain, I want to think about the situation right now before going any further, and have my own theories. So, we did not hear anything about the potential cause of death. Okay, this is very distracting. Thank you. We did not hear anything about the potential cause of death. We didn't hear about anything being present around his lips, mouth,
Would you
maybe
mind
nostrils.
coming with me to buy a copy of today's newspaper?
You're so carefree, Emily. I envy you. So, again, no idea what he died from, yet. We have no idea what the cause of death is. But no external injuries. It has to be something internal. And given the thematic of everything, it has to be scent. But again, that's me just thinking about the plot of the story. If I was in this situation, I would also be thinking about scents, because everything we've been through has been about scents. There's a lot of flowers, right? But also, again, we don't know yet if he digested anything forcefully. But even if he did, the culprit would have had more time to clean things up during the night. Or maybe he didn't have to. So these guys were very, very reluctant to admit that Auguste was like a toxin, like a poison. They were saying like, oh, there's nothing wrong with the product, but again, they were probably lying. So if I were to think that whatever they said was a lie, and that perfume really is like a poison, and a digestion could cause you harm, but also if there are no signs of any digestion, and there is a spirit bornium, an essence here, there is a potential that the perfume was put into this essence that was filling the room, and just breathing it in wouldn't really do anything to you. But if you spent a whole night in this room, constantly breathing it, it would take a toll. It would really damage your internal organs or something. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now, at least. I'm still thinking about the potential chemical reactions between the scents of other flowers here and the scent. Maybe there was some chemical reaction inside his body. I don't know. My current theory is that he was spending his night here. The essence in this scent disposal thing was switched, and he was breathing in toxins for a whole night, and that's why he died. It's something similar to like when you have a gas stove and there is a leak somewhere, so the gas is filling up the room, but you don't really notice it, especially during the night. Like if you fall asleep and there's a gas leak, you might not be able to wake up, you know? So, but potentially it's something similar in this case as well.
So, did you find anything?
There are no signs of forced entry. The only way in would have been through Sylvain's room. Okay, we are already thinking that someone entered this room and attacked him and killed him. But we didn't even talk about the cause of death. How did he die? What is the murder weapon? Come on, guys. A little more professionalism, please.
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
Where did you get the pen and paper? Alright. Makes sense, yeah. So his room was also locked.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think Sylvain could have been the one who...
Nah.
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
Then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain is still in shock, but he's our only available witness. We have to take his statement.
Again, this essence, this scent that's being distributed, is very suspicious. But even if it is the cause of death, how did they bring it here? Maybe while we were distracted by Emilie's master, they kind of sneaked in? Maybe? I don't know.
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through everything together.
Might as well share. By the way, Paimon, very useful to have the map. Thank you. Actually contributing. You enter his
Mr.
room.
Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful.
Maybe too careful.
We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, we could help each other. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucien was...
So it seems like... But also he's not on his bed. He is not on his bed. He's on the floor. As if he was just standing or walking around and fell. But if he did fall, just out of the blue, I'm sure Sylvain would have heard it. Maybe.
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucien's body. What kind of cause of death are we dealing with here?
Scent.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack yesterday. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it.
Yep.
And I'd say that substance was likely a ghost.
And let's say that it was in that scent thing.
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one night.
Just one night? So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous?
No, that's not what I meant. Emilie, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
No, I didn't find any common toxins.
Common.
See? A ghost is harmless. The market response proved that years ago.
That may be true for most
Edgar!
people, but not for everyone.
Okay. Specific people? Fontanians?
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Welcome back.
Thanks to Emilie, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kyria would just let us be? No, he would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena.
Yelena, the real name. More backstory?
That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Yeah, the name sounds like it. Yeah.
Oh, Fatus.
Yeah, Yelena. Yeah.
The Fatui. Well, that means the elemental energy present in a ghost was...
Oh.
So you've already detected it. Well, Sylvain, looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Is it the residue?
Oh.
Is it?
The August flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
Kind of similar, yeah. But Fatui use the I'm not sure exactly. Is it exactly Archon residue, or is it just the residue of the gods to recreate the power of the vision? So, close, kinda?
A delusion?
The Fatui, delusions... I never would have thought a ghost was hiding this many secrets.
Born of a delusion, August contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
That's enough, Edgar. I'll take it from here. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower, but no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about a goose being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible. Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine. But even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Not the first rodeo. The divine and noble Auguste originated from a delusion. If the truth came out, the market for your product would have been destroyed.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing to all your financial crimes. The Fatui, delusions, Auguste. If the Maréchaussée Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucien would still be alive. All these years without any sign of Kyria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after. Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
Still calling it harmless, huh?
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to destroy evidence?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point.
But
We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Maréchaussée Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed. Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
yeah, now it makes sense why she did that. Given her identity. It's not the first time we've seen Fatui being desperate to escape the Fatui ranks.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, there would have been no reason to do that to herself.
Character development for Calais, huh? The past Calais would have said something different.
Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning. Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after her death.
Yeah.
After arriving in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So,
Yeah.
in the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kyria was free to take the Mora and run.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste, it wasn't destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. We just didn't realize she meant our cut as well. That's why Lucian and I were searching for Kyria, to take back our Mora and the Auguste flower. We just didn't realize Kyria was baiting us the whole time. It was all a trap.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
Probably not. Most likely not. If she wanted to separate Kyria from her identity as a fetus, just revealing the truth to him would practically disregard all her work. She wanted for him to not have anything to do with the Fatui. So he probably doesn't even know about the connection. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way her brother wouldn't notice how she could barely walk.
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kyria what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge.
No, Paimon.
I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate Auguste, or something like that.
One way or another, he's gonna turn on Snezhnaya or on someone else.
It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred, especially when you've been living in that headspace for so many years.
Yeah, speaking from experience here.
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks? If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn, Yelena could have survived.
She knew her limits. She knew her
Okay.
days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us. We were just trying to earn a bit of Mora. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucian? He was just following my orders. Lucian's crime, was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
Of course not. But yeah, world is unjust, huh?
The only person that can answer that question is a judge.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. What a headache.
These immigrants are full of trouble. What's gonna happen?
Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself. Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants and all that. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own. Would you be willing to grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
But if we wait until tomorrow, doesn't that mean something could still happen tonight?
Happen tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kyria might try to finish what he started?
Potentially. I mean, the question is, what else is there for him to do? He already inflicted the best kind of despair he could. I mean, not the best, I shouldn't say the best. I meant to say, like, the greatest one. Onto this person. He already damaged Emilie's master. So, I don't think he would want to kill that guy, specifically. He would want it for him to experience this despair more and live with it. But he could potentially want to actually finish the job in regards to Emilie's master. To kill him off, for real.
Yeah, all we know is that he uses a goose to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act.
And we still haven't really figured out how he did that. We kind of just glanced over that.
If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stop him.
But also, wait. I just realized something. If a ghost was made using a delusion, and Kyria is now recreating a ghost, doesn't that technically mean that he's also using a delusion right now? Is he, like... Did he by chance return to the Fatui to get his hands on one? I doubt his sister would leave her delusion to him. Unless he just found it lying there in the ash. I don't know. But still, I have a bad feeling about this. If he was able to recreate it, that means he has a delusion. That means he has to have it.
That may be true. But what if we can take advantage of his desperation?
Desperation.
If we take advantage of this situation and lure him in on purpose, we might finally have the chance to talk to him.
Fair point.
Master, no! That's too dangerous.
Yeah, he's well aware of that.
So, that's your plan. If Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight. In other words, you want to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What? Are you afraid of him?
Afraid? This is my only chance to make him pay for what he did. I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I'm letting him get away with it. Not after what he did to Lucian. As for the danger, everyone else just needs to make preparations in advance to protect us.
Well, from what you just said, my guy, I feel like they are gonna need someone to protect him from you.
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my help.
We can help stand guard.
I'll also keep watch.
Thank you, Kale.
Although I think Sylvain and myself should remain alone in our respective rooms. If Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides, it's possible he's already transformed Auguste into a potent toxic gas.
The question is, how? Think about it.
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the two of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using a goose on everybody?
If that were to happen, everyone standing guard, even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in danger.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
Yeah, he doesn't have much time left, does he?
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This old pack of bones doesn't bounce back like it used to. I suppose I'll just have to leave the rest to you.
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch later. Right now, I say we split up, start spreading that information before it's too late.
Fair enough. With everyone's help, the news about Auguste, as well as Edgar and Sylvain's impending departure begins to spread. Bum dum 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 bum bum dum. Look at Paimon spreading rumors. Oh?
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop.
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where Kyria is hiding, he must have heard them by now.
Paimon, we are great gossipers.
Let's head back to the hotel and take a break. We can see how the other preparations are going while we're at it.
Yeah, let's take a break. Coming back, they're dead. Watch that actually be the case. I'm gonna be so pissed.
Xian wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit.
Aww.
Why don't you have some?
That's so sweet.
Oh, that's very kind of you, but I'm okay.
Really?
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I couldn't help but notice that something seems to be on your mind.
Yeah.
Was it that obvious?
Body language, sweetie.
You seem very preoccupied with Kiria's revenge. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to listen.
Oh,
Only if you're comfortable enough.
Hey, Emilie, Kale. Oh, are we interrupting something?
Could I have some tea too?
No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway.
I thought so.
I've just been thinking. If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why didn't he target Sylvain along with Lucien last night?
Because of his revenge. He wanted Sylvain, the one who kind of orchestrated everything, in quotes, to feel the despair he himself has felt after his sister died, I assume.
There was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. Don't you think?
That's why I'm thinking he wants Sylvain as the only survivor in this situation. He doesn't want to kill him.
When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized maybe Kiria did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge.
You are correct.
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
I don't know. Given that he forcefully made Edgar swallow that poison, that didn't seem to me like just a warning. He was motivated to kill him. Maybe he thought that would be enough, but Emilie came to his rescue in time. Well, Lucien didn't make it because it was during the night, and we just didn't have the time. We just didn't make it in time.
Based on what we've heard about Kiria, that may very well be the case.
Losing his sister all those years ago. What has been going through his head? What has he been forced to endure?
Yeah, she's very empathetic in this matter.
Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, would I be able to let go of that hatred?
Well, you weren't exactly in his place, but you were in similar kind of despair during your life. But look at yourself now. So strong and resilient. You actually made it. And one, I'm so proud to see that. I'm so proud of you for that. But also, you know what it takes to go through times like these, to let go of that hatred. Because you have experienced it already. And you came to terms with it. Because there were someone like Ember by your side, like your master. People supporting you. New people in your life. I'm guessing that Kiria just didn't move on. He was too focused on the past and his traumatic events, on exacting revenge. He didn't really meet new people, didn't have anyone to support him. That's probably why he went down this path. Because there was no one to guide him after his sister left.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after everything he's done. But I just can't help it.
It's totally fine to sympathize with others, to try to understand them. What's weird is to try to, one, romanticize criminals, and two, to completely forgive them for what they've done. Because we've seen something like this in our society multiple times happen.
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human nature.
Exactly. Did I say sympathy? I meant empathy, sorry.
In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger still echo through my mind, even now. Some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment. Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions? Answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance can put those answers forever out of our reach.
True.
I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information can be inferred from the traces left behind at the scene. But generally speaking, death will just leave most questions unanswered, and the whole picture ever incomplete.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about things that way. For someone like Kyria, I'm sure right and wrong lost all meaning a long time ago.
Again, just thinking about what Colette went through. It's really resonating with her.
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them. It's because we're fortunate enough not to have suffered that kind of loss.
Yeah.
But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late. I understand Kyria's decision, but I still want to stop him. Master, Sylvain, and Kyria. They all deserve to survive.
Huh. The fortunate and the unfortunate.
Yeah.
Emilie, traveler. Huh? Edgar, you're here too?
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out and about like this?
A little exercise never hurt anyone. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru. So I'd like to take care of my plants while I still can.
We could do that for you, Master.
That seems like a code to me. Given that when I entered his house and checked the flower pot, it seemed like there was something hidden in the pot. Maybe he's also like scheming something to leave something behind.
No need. I've grown attached to these flowers, and this is my last chance to say goodbye. Come tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy to entrust their care to you.
Yeah, to me this is like a message. I'm gonna leave something in them for you to find tomorrow.
I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more important reason.
The Night Watch! You mentioned earlier that we still need to confirm our plans.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room.
Next to Sylvain's room? You mean in Lucine's room?
Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. You're the most skilled fighter here, Traveler.
I was thinking that the next one to be attacked would likely be Emilie's master. Because if he wants Sylvain to be left alive, and the others dead, and Emily's master is still alive, he might come back to finish the job. Like, that's what I would have think. Like, that's what I would have thought.
And Emily's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Fine with me. What about you, Emilie?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll be glad to have your help tonight, Traveler.
My men and I will be stationed nearby to monitor the situation. A warning will be issued if any unusual activity is detected.
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on everyone coming in and out of the area. Just leave the wilderness surveillance to the forest rangers.
Good luck, Ollie. You can do it. If anyone can do it, you can do it. Alright. Let's get this bread. You wait in Lucine's room for quite a long time.
Huh. Not a peep. Has Kyria given up on his revenge?
Just like that?
Guess we'll have to keep at it.
The night deepens as the time passes.
Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Okay, is it just me? Like... Lucienne, I mean, spent the whole night in this room. And during the night, he died. Due to prolonged exposure to the toxin. Are we sure that this area is safe? That the toxin is no longer here? That we aren't being exposed to it while we while we are standing watch? Are we not being affected by the toxin? Are we sure? like, I guess if the toxin was here, Emilie would have recognized the scent of August. And we would have found it already. So, never mind. Never mind that. I guess we're fine. I guess we're in the clear. But even so, I have my second point. Sylvain didn't hear a beep. And his brother died. So maybe we should be more cautious in that regard as well. Because for all we know, the toxin could have been already inside his room, and he can be already on the floor. Shiam hasn't issued a warning either.
Perhaps Kyria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Marechaussee Phantom years ago.
And he already killed Lucien. There's no reason to stop there.
There must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty.
We can't abandon our post. There's nothing there. There's nothing here that we can. There's nothing here that we can use to make tea.
You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flowers.
Like glazed lilies? That open up at night? Am I cooking? Am I cooking? He died during the night. Hold up. Hold up.
Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Because they don't bloom during the day, because they only bloom at night.
Flowers, glaze lilies, incense.
Emilie's cooking.
Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Emilie rushed next door. A strange floral fragrance saturates the room. Sylvain lies unmoved on the bed, already fully unconscious. Whoopsie daisy.
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
Was he dead? No, we saved his ass. Emilie saved his ass.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucien, and now this.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy. What is going on?
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit? I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
He's gotta be fine. I don't buy it. This is a ploy. To make people think like the crime happened. There's the pot. There's the pot. Are you gonna find something in there?
I suppose I'm next.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to survive,
Yeah,
Emily.
that is true.
I never did thank you for that, did I?
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
Is that so? I suppose I'm a very fortunate person then.
He was the only one attacked during the day, I mean. Without any glaze lilies.
I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. If it is indeed my time to go, then I'll die without regrets. But Kyria
I love the
has
music.
nothing. Yelena is gone. Now his enemies are too. It really makes you wonder if there's even a reason to keep on living.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kyria himself, once we finally catch him.
Well, I hope it all goes well. Emilie, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition. He's off the table now.
Did he really die? I was kind of in denial because I didn't think he would actually do it. And they were, like, portraying the information to us, providing the information to us through the public eye, without really knowing what happened on the inside. What Emilie did. But, I don't know. Edgar seems to think that he's dead. That the guy is dead. Maybe he also doesn't know. Maybe Emilie and me and Paimon and maybe even the sheriff are the only people that know that he's still alive. Or maybe he's just dead and I'm being just unreasonable here. I don't know.
But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. I can't let them wither away with no one to care for them. Whether Kyria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I won't be around to look after them. I know it's a lot to ask, but could I entrust them to your care?
Of course, Master.
Really? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now I truly have nothing to worry about.
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so I've gotta go.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
I'm sorry, Master.
Did she kill him? She did something to his plans. I'm not sure what exactly. But it feels like he's not gonna wake up. Potentially. Yeah. I see. Meanwhile, in Sylvain's room...
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well.
Emilie's plan.
Oh, but Kali still looks quite worried. Let's go talk to her.
Okay, clearly there was some planning going on that we're none the wiser about. Once again.
Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble.
She's extremely meticulous. I'm sure she's prepared to handle anything that might come her way.
Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now too, but I have to admit, I'm not really sure what's going on.
So, again, my suspicion is that he's probably alive, but we are spreading misinformation as if he's dead.
After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. I barely had a second to spare last night. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
It's pretty simple, actually.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time.
Feel like you've been waiting to say that for a while.
Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hid a goose.
Did he water the flowers? With a gust? The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The glaze lily is swaying gently, its petals closed. There's a ring of moisture around the rim of the petals that feels sticky to the touch.
This is it!
I see.
Glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower from Liyue, right?
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Yep.
Emilie, you're back!
How did it go?
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Neelitpala lotus.
Exactly. Although the Neelitpala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large. That's why Kiria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing an agouti sample.
Soaked the area around the petals, poured it into the flower pot, dotted it on the outside of the petals. Outside of the petals, that doesn't seem to be the case. Soaked the area around the petals. Poured it into the flower pot. We touched the petals and they seemed sticky to the touch. I mean, let's see what he says.
There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. It's one I recognize.
Sealed it inside the petals.
If you stick the petals together with slime condensate,
Ah.
then in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost like a hidden container.
I see. So he sealed it. And it had the liquid inside. But then at night it bloomed and freed the liquid.
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of agouti in the center. That way, the agouti would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the agouti trapped inside.
And Kiria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during the night.
By the next morning, the sample of agouti would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
And his mission would be accomplished.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of a goose is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's because agouti is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that Sylvain and Lucien are allergic to the stuff? That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago. If the stuff gave them a bad reaction, they would have known from the very start.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. But that distinction isn't important right now. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kiria found a way to ensure that they would be.
Like what? The primordial sea. Makes sense. The incense in the room, various essential oils. So it's either the essence in the room. It's got to be the essence, right? I was suspecting it from the very beginning. But also the primordial sea, which is also something that's connected to the Fontanians.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, I'm almost certain it was the scent of spirit borneal.
Yeah, okay.
In Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon. In Fontaine, I experienced how drinking primordial seawater made me more attuned to the element of hydro.
I see.
But that substance would be hard to get around here.
It would. So what's the deal? No, okay, so the spirit borneal.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances that can heighten your sensitivity to elemental energy.
And here it shows spirit borneal.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru.
Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liyue. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition.
Actually,
what a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence at all.
The exhibition, the hotel, it was all a meticulously designed trap by Emilie's master himself. Yeah.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel.
He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free. But in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kiria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of evil spirit.
Because he's not the culprit.
But because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
Oh, okay. Edgar, yeah. As Edgar. No way is it gonna... Wait, what? No way is it gonna come back to the potion that changes the appearance. Nah. It's not possible because he's not from Fontaine.
Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily. Setting up the spirit borneal in advance. And arranging for Sylvain and Lucien to stay at the hotel.
It was all Edgar.
It all points to one person. The expert in charge of the entire exhibition.
The whole exhibition was a trap, holy
the
crap.
spent to rent out the hotel. The way the Auguste flower was cultivated. The method used to disguise his appearance.
The method used to disguise his appearance.
It all points to one person. The boy who inherited Yelena's legacy. Her younger brother.
The real murderer.
Kiria and Edgar are one and the same.
Hey, no way!
But Kiria was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40 years old by now.
Delusion, my guy, delusion.
Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance, going that long without giving anything away, it would be impossible.
Oh my god, this is so complicated!
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
Nah, he did something terrible, that's for sure.
What?
And Emilie made sure of that.
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous aura. But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. By the time we got a look inside the room, Mr. Edgar was gone. Do you think Kiria kidnapped him?
No, he escaped. He escaped? This is so confusing.
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that figure wasn't Edgar himself?
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
Delusion
It would
again?
seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
Yep.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
Yeah, the S word. It's suicide. I feel like he's been ready to do so ever since he designed all this plan. Ever since he drank that potion. That perfume.
But why? Why would he do that? He's already accomplished his revenge.
Holy crap, so many plot twists. This is
No.
crazy.
If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death,
Edgar.
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena chose to die...
Ah, he wants to talk to him.
then there's still one target left.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I understand like half of the stuff that's going on. Maybe more.
The shadow-like
80%.
figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Before they. So the shadow-like figure, it's Edgar / Kyria.
Yeah! Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
So there were originally 4 people in the project. And Edgar was one of them. But after that incident, Kyria pretended to be Edgar. But where is the real Edgar, then? Where is the real Edgar?
A ghost! It's a ghost!
The rumors about a ghost has been spread.
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath. Can you tell us what you saw?
I saw a black shadow. It ran right past me. How could something like that happen in broad daylight?
No, he's fine.
This is terrifying.
No! Don't come any closer!
Is this where we... No.
No! Don't come any closer! No! Don't come any closer!
Okay.
Yeah.
If we go any further, we'll be out of port almost. There'll be hardly any witnesses.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. I would say he passed by this location not too long ago.
And we can use elemental sight, right?
It's this way. Please, follow me.
Nope, we're just gonna forget about that. It's fine. We're gonna use Emilie. And her keen sense of smell. She's like a canine. Is there a chest? Don't mind me.
Extract! Overruled. The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
An impressive bounty.
So you mean... Oh, here. Uh-huh. The secret garden of Auguste. Might as well bring my own Emilie, but...
Want me to come along?
They're gonna give me the trial version anyway, so... Let's just go.
Oh! O's!
O's?
Are you alright? Were you attacked?
No, I'm alright. I was just chasing after that figure, and then, all of a sudden, I didn't feel so hot.
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It
This
smells
shot.
nice, but for some reason, it's hard to breathe.
For some reason,
This feeling, I've encountered it before.
Everything looks alright. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment. A bit of rest would do you some good.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He taught my sister how to make perfume. He's a good man. I can't just abandon him to die by Curia's hand.
O's, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is the one we're after. He and Kyria are the same person.
But how is that possible? I thought you said Kyria was in his 30s. Mr. Edgar is 70-something. Changing your appearance to look decades older, that doesn't seem possible.
No, he looks like a 30-year-old
That's
for sure.
precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself.
A delusion.
Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
Where did he get his hands on a delusion?
He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years. If someone started impersonating him all of a sudden, we would have noticed.
Maybe he was him from the very beginning.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in Sumeru?
Yeah.
I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release from prison.
Ah, I see.
While Edgar was incarcerated, Kyria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise.
So what you're saying is your real teacher is Kyria, and not Edgar.
The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose, the need to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade. And Sumeru fit the bill to a T, with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, make a few minor alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed, Edgar, a perfumer from Fontaine. As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
That explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel. He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge. Is that even worth it?
Was that even because of the revenge?
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of person. He can't be.
What you really need is to get out of here and rest.
No, I can keep going.
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. Please come with me and rest.
Hell yeah, Kale, you got this.
I'm sure Kyria... No, Edgar wouldn't want any more innocent people implicated in all this.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to a goose, it would seem the substance has little effect on us.
So what I'm guessing is his final goal is to, since he got rid of those two guys, his remaining goal is to get rid of himself and his garden, potentially. Perhaps he wants to experience the same fate his sister did, to burn this place down and be buried with it.
This
Oh,
leads
God.
me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as much of a risk to us. Actually, now that I think about it, this stronghold likely has multiple points of entry. If the target were to escape from a different point of entry, that might allow him to evade capture. I hate to trouble you, but we need people to survey the perimeter.
Thanks.
The little signal.
Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. Ooze, head back to Port Ormos and start gathering reinforcements.
Got it.
Traveler, Emilie, Paimon, please be careful. For someone whose only purpose in life is revenge, there is no telling what they'll do when there's no reason to move forward.
Don't worry. This isn't the end. Not for us or for Kyria. We're not going to let a goose kill anyone else. It's time for the mythos to fade into obscurity.
Alright, so we are planning to save him. From his own hands and from the hands of August. For some reason I wanted to say Augustus. What is that?
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
What is this flower?
Neutralize!
Witness my rise.
Not really something I wanted to do, but it's fine too. Investigate.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, it is avoiding us. Come on. Okay. Have never seen these flowers before. So gorgeous, so beautiful. Also, these flowers look like Padisaras. What's the deal?
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers!
So this is Auguste flowers. They really do look like Padisaras.
There are so many of them. I can't believe a single person did all this. Must have taken a lot of time.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost. Not just time, but the time you have left to live.
Yeah, we know.
But why would Kyria need this many Auguste flowers?
That is the question. Why would he?
He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan, right?
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with Auguste.
Maybe it was the only connection to his sister he had. I don't know.
Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither away in a foreign land.
Yeah.
But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru under the guise of someone else.
He had no home.
For someone with nowhere to call home, perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
I see. So potentially, dying the way his sister did is like a homecoming to him. God damn it. Holy crap. This is heavy. Quite heavy. Okay, there it is. Ah, there is one there, okay. Didn't notice. Is there anything there? There is a waterfall. Knock knock. Anyone home? Wow. This is so atmospheric. Look at the purple light. Oh my god.
Reconstitute! Buckle up! Hi! A little ambiance.
I guess now we have to protect it from the lights. This is so beautiful. It's fascinating how something so beautiful can be born out of something so dangerous. This is such a beautiful spot to take pictures. Gorgeous. No, brother. I sometimes wonder, how do these places are left unexplored in the in the open world? Like, they are so out in the open. How do we not see these places in the overworld?
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Is there gonna be like a huge field? They are everywhere. There he is. Yeah. A huge field. Kyrian. Are you gonna set them on fire or?
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast?
That's also a beautiful shot.
No. My strength is just waning.
Oh my god, the delusion.
But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
Yeah, this is his... Oh god, he injected it. He, The fire.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine.
And he's younger here.
Yelena?
There she is. Oh my god, look at that. And
Yelena!
the music.
You tried to hide it from me, but I always understood. The reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, it was all because of me. I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you earlier. I should have died with you that day.
That's not what she wanted for you to do, dude. That's not the future she wanted for you.
Yelena?
Yeah. She's gonna reject you.
Yelena!
This is so well done. This is so well done with these scenes.
No! Don't leave me! Please! Yelena!
Emilie? I'm alive. No, that's not possible. I saw her. Yelena, we were together.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No, the amount of August I drank, it should have been enough.
I'm sorry to say this, but that was a fake. She switched them up. She placed... I see.
A fake? But how?
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind. To create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making. The product
in its most primitive form.
That's what he taught her.
Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
Look at the style. Oh my god.
This is
Small Emilie.
the scent of leather.
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I see.
I'm afraid not.
Accord.
Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind.
She created something similar.
That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
Like Auguste to him. And, yeah.
Our competitor already got their hands on it.
One of a kind.
Doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience.
They love doing that. And I love seeing that.
The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
True.
I took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
Yeah.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Wow.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
She found it there, yeah. And switched. And he didn't see that because the vision was obscured.
Again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead.
So he believed that...
Is that right?
Yeah, they feeded that misinformation to him. I feel like...
Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Yeah, he's still alive. Wow, that was all to... It was all manufactured to mislead him. It was all fabricated. No wonder, no wonder. I just didn't suspect him, is all. But they deliberately showed that he believes in this death, and Emilie confirmed it to him. Yeah, it all makes sense now, yeah.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Flowers from different regions. That was what I was thinking. But she says that there's more to it, that they couldn't be mixed together in the past, which is
Auguste
interesting.
was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances together.
Yeah, but he was stuck in the past.
The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
The past?
Yeah.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it, just like the perfume mania that captivated the public all those years ago.
Yeah, just like the analogy with the perfume. If you allow yourself to be consumed by the scent, then your vision will be clouded.
You believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind.
Because it was to him. To him personally, it had a completely different meaning than to everyone else. Yeah, and in the process you forgot that it was a bottle of perfume, nothing more.
Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Or that you would activate the delusion.
Well, you hit the nail on the head now, didn't you? So, Sylvain isn't dead. Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, I assume you've also figured out my method, then.
Yeah.
That means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning. It was all an act you put on with the sheriff.
Yeah.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your spirit borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see any more death.
I don't want to see any more
only
death.
inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to see, and all his secrets will be revealed. The same goes for you as well.
Is that so? Well, I suppose I'll be spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
Well, because he doesn't think he'll live very long.
I don't feel the need to justify my actions, nor do I intend to repent for them. I did what I set out to do. I may have lost in the end, but it was my choice every step of the way. And if I could do it all over again... But there's no going back, is there?
Careful, everyone. This environment is dangerous. I'll lead the way.
Everyone?
Stick close and hurry up. We can't let Edgar die.
Looks like I'm almost out of time. Although, I do have one final question, Emilie.
Of course, Master.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower was already imbued with that complexity during its cultivation?
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combined their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve. But if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those really do seem like flowers you would choose. Yelena.
Well, not long after that, the Eremites rush over. Kyria accepted his fate without saying a word. Yeah. Not shedding a tear, not today. And thus, all the turmoil caused by Auguste finally comes to an end. A few weeks later, you receive a letter from Emilie. Invitation to Fontaine? Suddenly we're in Fontaine now.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume!
Oh my god, no way. She's gonna release it. What is she gonna call it?
Right, I heard about that. I think it's called
Yelena.
Yelena.
Yelena. Of course she would. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Look at Paimon's smile. Yeah. Figuring out the way to recreate the scent without any harm. Bravo, Emilie, bravo. Paying tribute to the creator.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected.
Guess you're just too good at your job.
I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to demystify a ghost.
I mean... At the very least, you didn't name it Auguste. Let's just say that. Like, that's definitely gonna help with that. About this perfume, did you use the accord from back in Sumeru? Yep.
I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting.
Okay.
I actually brought a few samples with me today.
Hey.
I hope they're to your liking. Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
That's a big honor.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it to Paimon!
She's the beauty expert.
Oh, it smells great!
I'm not sure that's the kind of feedback she had in mind.
It's alright. All feedback is worth considering. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you can ask for. There doesn't always have to be a deeper meaning.
True. Sometimes it's difficult to get into a deeper meaning. Sometimes it's just good. Right? There isn't much more you can say about something. Sometimes just saying it's amazing, it's good, sometimes that's enough. That's like the highest form of praise. Sometimes. Not every time. Just sometimes. Speaking of deeper meanings, Kiria's final question.
Right! Do those flowers have some special meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect on him.
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the language of flowers.
Okay, let's try to think. Language of flowers. We know the rainbow rose one, obviously. But I do not remember anything about glaze lilies or Cecilias. Well, I do remember about something about Cecilias. But I came into the subject of the language of flowers in Fontaine. So I am not very educated in regards to other flowers. I know some bits and pieces from, like, lore. Especially those red flowers in Inazuma. And just stuff like that. But when it comes to the meaning of the flowers, like of the language of flowers, that's something I'm not too familiar with.
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before! Paimon remembers hearing something like, the Cecilia represents the true feelings of the prodigal son?
I think we learned the meaning behind Flowers of Mondstadt in the first Windbloom, but I wasn't playing Genshin at that time yet, so I didn't catch the event. So it didn't really stuck around with me as much.
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of Auguste. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a single phrase.
Really? Fascinating.
Forget the past and keep on living.
Wow. Wow. What a secret hidden message. You couldn't have said it straightforward to him. Wow. Mixed signals. Shaking my head, shaking my head.
Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with a Gust.
Or maybe that's what she hoped for her brother. Yeah, it's both. Yeah. But he didn't get the message. You weren't clear enough.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care.
Yeah, I guess at that time he already understood.
Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was his response.
Yeah, denial.
Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture.
And it's probably because he already realizes the meaning behind that and just doesn't want to accept it fully.
Even if that is what she was trying to say, I would never be able to forget her. Avenging her death? That was the meaning I chose for my life. Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping for.
Yeah, that is the path that he chose himself. Which is fucked up. And he is a bad person for that. Oh well.
In any case, he did want me to pass along his thanks.
Really?
Thank you for saving my life. For giving me the chance to learn that a Gust could have carried a very different meaning. Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them. In that sense, what a Gust truly represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery.
And that could have been different. If she left a death note or something, I don't know.
But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation.
Yeah, that is fair. I'm sorry, I'm just I'm just thinking, like, if you really cared about your brother, could you really not, like, make it more obvious to him for him to move on? If that's what you wanted him to do, then why would you, like, try to hide it? I mean, you didn't try to hide it, but she didn't make any effort to let him know your true intentions. Like, you left him alone in the darkness, trying to find a path. Like, I'm sorry, but if you decided to end your own life and set all the responsibility on your brother for his own actions without leaving him a clear path, guiding him to where you wanted him to be, and he didn't end up being where you wanted him to be, that's kind of on you. Like, right? I'm not just talking out of my ass here, right? I hope I'm not.
The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
Yeah. That's such a good design for a bottle, holy crap. Never mentioned it, but it's so beautiful. Hey, Yelena.
Art is
Wait, what?
the ingredient in fine dining.
It's actually something to use. Gadget! A sample of the perfume Emilie made herself. It is based on the legendary Auguste fragrance chronicled in Fontaine's histories. Tilt the bottle toward the sunlight, and you will see this flowing line of graceful text. Forget the past and keep on living. Equipped! Am I gonna... Ah, I smell so nice. This is cool. This is so useless, but it's cool. I mean, maybe you could use that for taking pictures to have this effect, but it's so short. Oh, brother. That's still cool. That's still really cool. I really like that. I hope its use is not limited. Well, anyway. That's gonna be it. That's it. Wow. This is practically the end of Fontaine. I'm sure we're still gonna have a sequence in the first act of the next chapter.
Many ladies in the court of Fontaine like to spray...
Where we leave Fontaine. We still need to get to Natlan. And I'm not sure where Natlan is gonna be exactly on the map. Like, it could be on the left of Fontaine, like here. I doubt it's gonna be above Mondstadt. I think Snezhnaya is gonna be here. And Natlan is gonna be around the desert, kinda. Either here, above the desert, or to the left of the desert. I'm not sure. I was always kinda imagining it to be around here, on this side. Or even there, further, but... I don't know. Whatever the case, we're still gonna have to leave Fontaine and say goodbye to Fontaine, so even though this is the last video I'm gonna make on Fontaine in the 4.x series, I'm sure we're gonna get more Fontaine in the limited time events, or in other story quests, potentially, going forward in the future. Like here, this was like a Fontaine story quest, but it was mostly in Sumeru. We spent all the time in Sumeru, even though the character is from Fontaine. So I'm sure it's still gonna be back, but I do want to say my goodbyes to this place, because it really does feel like home now. We've fixed so many issues, we've made so many friends, and that means so much. That means a lot. So even though this is technically the last video I'm gonna make on the Fontaine in the 4.x series, I'm gonna say my goodbyes whenever we're gonna be actually leaving this place. So when 5.0 comes out. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. And I guess the next one is gonna be Natlan already. So, I'll see you all in Natlan. Bye bye.